Namaskar. Hello and welcome to 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝘁𝘀's channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. This is a special transmission, special circumstances, new developments happening in Pakistan. But before I go into the details, may I request all of you to please like this video, and if you have not already subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe to our channel. So what's happening in Pakistan? Just hours ago, the Election Commissioner of Rawalpindi has resigned, citing that he felt like he wanted to commit suicide because he was asked, at least in 13 cases, where the loser was losing by a margin of 70,000 votes, 70,000 votes, was declared the winner. Forms 45 and 47 were modified, and he said that this does not rest well on his conscience. Now, this is just the commissioner making the statement. The interesting thing here is they say that 13th of March is his last day of work, and perhaps he is having some political ambitions. He thinks that by making this now, that he might also become somebody to reckon with. Maybe he'll join the PTI after that and he'll become a big shot there. See, this is the detractor saying that, look, this guy was not a returning officer. This guy was not this thing. I don't know how he said all these things. So this is the pushback coming from the other side. Where are things right now? More and more people are out on the street, with the exception of PPP and PMLN. PPP is the Pakistani People Party of the Bhutto, the Zardaris, and PML, Pakistan Muslim League, N is Nawaz Sharif faction. These people, with the exception of these two parties, everybody else is out on the streets saying that the elections have been rigged. We don't accept this. Now, I have a question. Why were these elections held? Asim Munir, General Munir, why did you have these elections held? Was it because you were expecting the next tranche from, that is next segment, installment, if you will, from the IMF, and the IMF asked you to conduct elections? Well, we know now for a fact that the United States, which controls the IMF, had actually asked that Imran Khan be removed. This is already now, they have not refuted it. So, and this came few months ago in a website, the letter that was leaked by a Pakistani diplomat, and then it came out, the name of Donald Lu as having said that you have to get rid of Imran Khan. So this is to the army, right? So this was all said and done. So now, if the United States was really interested in democracy in Pakistan, why did they not send some neutral observers? They knew that they were going to have anyone but Imran Khan because they had recently unseated him, just like they unseated Nawaz Sharif before the 2018 elections and then installed Imran Khan there. So what is really going on? Who is actually benefiting from this charade? I don't know. Maybe you guys know about this, because I really don't see why US insists on having a democracy but knows fully well that the party it supports, that is the fourth party in Pakistan. Remember, everybody now is coming around to the view that there are 5 parties in Pakistan. Not all are in politics, but there are 5 factions. The PMLN, the PPP, the PTI of Imran Khan, the army, and the judiciary. Sometimes they go together, sometimes they don't go together. Oftentimes, 2 will be against, 2 will be for, whatever, right? At the end, the army used to be the arbiter-in-chief. It would say that this is what will happen, and the people would accept it. Except Imran Khan has turned the whole thing on its head, and now the army is split, the judiciary is split, the bureaucracy is split. Everywhere splits are opening up. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, no control there. Balochistan, no control there. So what exactly is the Pakistan army now in control of? Just Sindh and parts of Punjab? Because even Punjab, people are not sure that the entire thing is being managed by the Pakistani army. So all this is said and done. What is happening with the Sharifs? Remember, a few days ago, I said that Shehbaz Sharif might become the prime minister and Maryam Sharif the chief minister, with Nawaz Sharif sitting it out. Why did I make that prediction? The reason is that it looked like everybody thinks that this is not going to last long, but somebody needs to bell the cat, and that somebody appears to be Shehbaz Sharif. It is believed that Nawaz Sharif is not well, so he wants to just make sure that for a few months at least, he's able to guide his daughter Maryam Sharif, should she become the chief minister of Punjab. So you have That looks like that is going to go through. It is just that now the Shehbaz Sharif and the PMLN are now having second thoughts whether they want to take up the prime ministership. Remember that Zardari wants to be president. So it's a both deal. Either it's not like this will be one way and that will be another way. No. And if IMF is going to give another installment, they are also going to install the finance minister. So there are lots of these kinds of strings attached, and I don't know what Pakistan is going to think, but clearly there is rethink in the PMLN camp. That's what I'm hearing, and I don't know when the clouds will go away and sunshine will come through, and Pakistan will at least try and have a modicum of democracy. So these are all the things I have from Pakistan. The interesting thing here is that they say, why is this guy making all these statements? The people are now taking pot shots at him. How did he sign off on so many different candidates? And he's just one city, one region, Rawalpindi. What about the Pakistani country election commissioner? Is he going to say, or is this going to be like a domino effect where if one guy resigns, then a lot of people start resigning, and then suddenly there is another challenge on Asim Munir's hands? So all these are in the mix now. And I have a very humble question to ask of the United States. So all this just to try and make sure that India doesn't become a bigger, more powerful country. Where were you when China was becoming so powerful? Right through the Obama regime, treating them with kid gloves, letting people invest left, right, and center there. So many pension funds are now invested in China, and they don't know how to take their money out. The smart ones have already taken the money out of China and put it probably in places like Vietnam and India. What about all the pension funds? These guys are still sitting there. So the United States has not been able to unpeg itself from the Hong Kong dollar, because once that happens, it's game over. The world doesn't deal with the Chinese currency renminbi. No, the world only deals with the Hong Kong dollar. And the world turns a blind eye to the exchange rate between the Hong Kong dollar and the Chinese yuan. Nobody seems to want to know why that is pegged at a certain number. So all this said and done, US did nothing to pull back China, and now China is basically breathing down its neck, whereas now US wants to pull down India. I mean, it doesn't make sense, especially the fact that referendum finally went through in San Francisco. 27,000 people voted. Almost 80% of them didn't even know what they were voting for. All they did was their lawyer had advised them, look, if you want asylum status in the United States, if you are from India, just go there, make sure that your picture is taken by some of the people who are covering the event. That way you also get a copy of that and then show that, look, I was also protesting because I was persecuted in India. So this is what it is. They have nothing there, but they are making a lot of noise, and it's all under the benign eye of the United States. And the United States is, wasting its taxpayer dollars on all these things. And I don't know, Victoria Nuland and Blinken, they need to think about this. I mean, especially Blinken. Blinken seems to be more middle of the road guy. What do you want? You want China to be countered? How are you going to counter it? By getting cheap labor who doesn't know how to difference from a spanner and any other tool, wrench. Both are the same, but there are some subtle differences. So this experiment has failed horribly in Europe. Why do you want to do the same thing? I'm talking about allowing illegals to come in just like that. And the legals have to wait 100 years. Today, if an Indian American comes into US on an H1, it will take him 100 years to get his green card. It's that bad. So it's just becoming a mockery, and you will start seeing the admissions all fall down very, very fast, because people will see the futility of this. Some other country will give green cards in 4 years, 5 years. They'll just go there. I mean, if they want to leave India, although I would say that India itself is becoming a huge magnet for well-paying jobs and a very good standard of living. That's all I have to say for now. We have to wait and see. Whoever comes and becomes the prime minister will not last long, and they will lurch from one crisis to another. There will be another loan from IMF with a few set of new conditions. Most likely the IMF will cherry pick the person who will become the finance minister, and they'll dictate everything through the finance minister to the country. Already they have raised the electricity bill, they have already raised the water bill, but IMF doesn't seem to understand that Pakistan is an informal economy for the most part. What that means is that if they see that by doing sales, they are going to be putting sales tax and this and that, because that's the next thing that they will say: increase the sales tax, increase the commercial tax, whatever it is. They'll go back to barter. That has been in vogue in this area for thousands of years. Go back and barter. You have corn, I have lamb. So whatever, 100 corn cobs and is equal to 1 lamb, and then that becomes a new exchange rate. This is not unusual to the people here, very resilient. So one thing that they have in common, it doesn't matter who's the PM. After that, they'll again go back to hating India, and the newly appointed PM will again say, Kashmir and anti-India and anti-Hindu, all that stuff. Nothing ever changes in Pakistan, except it is collapsing, it is imploding. Every day it is becoming weaker and weaker, and we have to wait and see when it completely collapses. India needs to be ready, because India needs to be able to step in at a very short notice to kind of help some of these countries, maybe give them their currency by saying that India will support your currency, but as long as you do only UPI based transactions, something like that, and no cash, because you give them rupees and they'll start counterfeiting them again. There is that danger. And also, India might say, okay, we will control your defense and foreign affairs, like for example Balochistan or Sindh, and that way there is a certain amount of protection, because the one thing that India will not touch with a 40-foot pole is the remaining Punjab, which would be the West Punjab, remaining Pakistan, which would be the West Punjab, and they will be the ones who will say, I need to lash out at someone, and that's what India will need to prevent. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. There is one question. Let's take a question, please. Can we expect revolution by people of Pakistan? Mano, they are tired. 2018, they had one set of elections, or should I say selections, and again now a new set of selections, going back to the guy that was deposed in 2018, Nawaz Sharif. This is like a musical chairs, 3 or 4 candidates there. They said that some people said that Bilawal Bhutto should be the prime minister. It's a miserable time to be a prime minister now. They really don't have any industry. Can you believe it if I tell you that right from the time of independence, they have been on a handout from one person or the other? There was a CENTO treaty with the United States. Then there was a CEATO, C-E-A-T-O treaty with the United States. Then China came along and said, we will build CPEC for you at the cost of some billions of dollars. The money that China has pumped in, the interest owed on that, Pakistan can't pay. So they just keep deferring that loan. So we don't know how long, China is going to allow that deferment. At some point they'll call, and then what will they get? They've already taken control of the airports in Karachi and in Islamabad, the one that matter. People say that even railways, there is some control from the Chinese. And also they have dumped much of the non-working ammunition and arms and stuff like that in Pakistan. Pakistan doesn't know how to say no to these things, because they got them for free. So lots of challenges. I don't think China will attack Pakistan. What is there to attack? People will fight back, because the army is not in a position to fight. Their arms don't work. Their equipment doesn't work. Everything is a malfunctioning mess. So what do you do? So people will say, no, why don't India go in and occupy POK? And do what? You're going to get a disgruntled lot. Let them get more disgruntled, and even more. Because one thing you have to understand, for 50, 60, 70 years. They have been poisoning the minds of the people. So even somebody who's a septuagenarian, 70 plus, has been fed this thing about Kashmir. So why do you want to get all these people for a momentary pleasure, saying that, we have our POK back, only to see that they will start, fighting something else, saying that, we want our right, we want Sharia. Disgruntled will always ask for something or the other. They'll never be satisfied. Because their aim is not to be satisfied. Their aim is to just keep on raking one issue after the other. You understand where I am going from, right? The Aam Aadmi Party is like that. Non-functioning, but they'll try to put spoke in the wheels, and they'll say that the center is not helping them, that they want to do a lot of things, but center is not helping them. All that BS that Arvind Kejriwal spends. Anyway, I hope I answered your question. I think that's all we have for now. Any other questions? I am just going through. Yeah, that was the only question we had. And viewers, thank you again. And we will meet shortly in about, in about 2.5 hours time. There'll be a show by Sumit Peer. And then at 10 p.m., we have 𝗤𝙑 𝗖𝙪𝙤𝙪 on our channel. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.